Hey guys, welcome back to another live trading video. My name is Nick, and as you guys know on my channel, I talk all about trading and investing, mostly in Forex and stocks, and today we're going to be doing some more live trading. Now, I did a little poll on my community tab. We'll pop it up on the screen right here, and on the community tab, you guys basically said that you want to see more live trading videos, which is really cool. So I have, basically my goal is to give you guys what you want. So I'm going to be doing more live trading videos. If you like them, do me a favor and drop a like down below. It lets me know that you really enjoy this sort of content, and I'll make sure to continue to do it in the future. So I have a position open right now on AUDJPY. We're looking at the 4-hour chart, and the trade is just a bit better than flat right now. Now, I ended up taking a position on this last bar here, right here at support. And in this video, like I said, I'm going to be recording this trade. Whether it is a win or a loss, I don't know if this thing is going to roll over and stop me out, or if it is going to continue higher like I'm hoping for. But regardless, you guys will see, and we're going to take a look at it together. So let's do a little chart markup, and we're going to talk about the trade and why I am in it. Okay, so AUDJPY, first off, I have a bullish bias on this currency pair, especially due to the fundamental analysis across these two currencies. So the main reason, which I shared inside of the private group where I share all of my trades, is that generally speaking on the AUDJPY, we have two unique currencies. The one on the first hand is the Australian dollar, which I'm pretty bullish on for one main reason. In a good market environment where things are growing and positive and growth looks good for the whole worldwide economy, the Australian dollar tends to do all right because it has a lot of business and trade with other countries, especially China, the US, etc., where they are profiting and doing well in a optimistic situation. Now, all countries do better in a better situation, but when we're talking about currency crosses, we're talking about currencies doing better or worse than others. Now, on the yen, I'm bearish on the yen. Now, of course, the yen might do fine in terms of, the economy of Japan might grow along with the other ones, but I think that it is probably set to grow at a slower rate. And that's a bet that I've been making for a while now and had some great trades on the yen crosses, just shorting the yen and favoring another cross. I've traded pound yen, Aussie yen, CAD yen, all of them have been pretty good. So anyways, I've had a long bias on this currency cross. Another thing is that the Australian has a positive interest rate, whereas Japan actually offers a negative 0.1% interest rate. So that naturally makes me less interested in holding their currency, as it does for many investors who are looking on at the JPY. Now, that's the fundamental side of things. I go more in detail, of course, whenever I take a trade inside of the private group. I share my fundamental and my technical bias on a currency pair, but just know that this was the first part in taking this trade, is I'm looking for fundamentally sound reasons to be long or short on a currency first. The second side of it is the technical analysis for me. So the technical side of this is that we have been in a nice uptrend. We've also, we can actually scroll out here and take a look at this. So you can see nice uptrend here on the 4-hour chart. And if we look at the daily chart, you've also got a very strong overall upward trend that I do think has the potential to continue. This is something that, like I said, with that fundamental driver, some of the bigger trends take time to play out, and as a swing trader, there's ways to take advantage of that on the lower time frames as well. So again, there's the daily chart looking good on the moving averages. Everything is sort of lining up for bullishness here for me. Now again, I could be wrong about the entry here, but the idea is I want to be long on this. I don't want to be shorting this strong uptrend. Okay, so back down to the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the more specific entry and the stop loss. Okay. So this level here, you can see a couple different times, fairly simply put, every time prices come down to here in the past few days, we've had a lot of buy pressure on the Aussie yen. So each time it's come down, you can see buyers step up and at least give it a shot to try and go higher. That being said, on the retracement just recently here today, I basically decided to pick up some long positions here, took about 2 lots on the trade, and basically looking for potential moves higher. Now, of course, the important part is not necessarily just where you get in, but also what you plan to do should things go wrong. So I put a stop loss on my trade just below the previous swing low. So you can see you've got this area here where we did find some demand. I really don't want to see price go much lower than this. If this price comes into play where we see price basically breaking down right through that area of demand, then I probably want to hop out of the trade fairly quickly. Again, I'd like to see this thing rally pretty quick. Otherwise, I'll stop out and try again, maybe at a different point or on another currency pair. But the main idea is we've had a lot of demand here, and I'm playing to see if we can try and get that demand to hold once more for me and try and take advantage of a potential bounce on the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. Now, I am a swing trader, so this is not going to be right away. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video. I'll give it some time to let the trade play out. And again, whether it's a winner or a loser, you'll see it here on YouTube, and we'll cover it here. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. We'll come back soon with an update. Okay, so Aussie yen back here looking at the 1 hour chart. And I do want to point out just a little bit of an update from where we were. If you remember from where we last updated, we bought the Aussie yen here. Price actually went in my favor for a little while, and then it did like this weird V-shaped movement. Honestly, this was just kind of strange, and I haven't really moved my stops or anything at this point. I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because basically it would have probably stopped me out, because if I was to move my stop in this case, I would have moved my stop loss to a little bit better than break even. So I probably would have been stopped out of this trade just before it rallied, which would have been a bit frustrating. But fortunately, I did not actually move my stop loss yet. I really made the point on stream the other day when I was talking about this that I'd really like to see Aussie yen clear this area right here pretty decisively before I really started moving my stop loss. Because until then, it really just looks like price is in a pretty strong level of consolidation. In fact, we'll do a little chart markup and just kind of talk about this area here. So this area on the lower time frames here, so we're looking at it on the 1 hour chart, until this starts to really break this structure, I think that this is a pretty big barrier for Aussie yen to go higher. Now, if it breaks that, then by all means, I think we have room to make a move up to something like 85 and maybe even beyond. But the first thing that we really need to clear, and I'm watching it still, is this break above this level here, which is 84.55, let's say, because each time prices come up there, you can see it's been basically rejecting it. It finally made an effort, but here today with all this bullishness, this looks really promising in my opinion for a potential break higher. So if we can start to see that, then that would be amazing for something like this, some continuation, and from there I will start moving my stop loss up higher on the trade. So again, I just wanted to make that little update. I know this price hasn't really moved much. You can see we're still up $470, $480 there. So not a huge movement just yet. And this is part of trading too. Like, not all live trading or real trading is like, you know, every time you get into a trade, it's like massive moves against you or for you. Sometimes you get into a trade and it really just goes sideways. You just get this sort of, you know, not really going anywhere. And then, you know, you have to just sit there and wait until it really decides to move. So if this thing does decide to move, the thing that I'm looking for, like I said, is let's see if we can clear that 84.6 area and see if we can finally get the break higher. If that starts to happen, from there, that would be the situation in which I trail my stops, lock in some profit, and see if we can catch a winner here. Now, again, that's not something I know it's going to happen. This is live trading after all. So that is my idea. That is my plan should it happen. And worst case scenario at this point is that, you know, maybe this level just never breaks. We fail and we actually end up going down and taking the full stop loss. Right now, I'm still willing to hold the full trade and basically just see if it can run higher. Now, you might say, well, Nick, it looks pretty bearish on the 1 hour chart, in which I would pretty much agree with you. But let me just also show you the 4 hour chart. We can see a little bit higher time frame. You've got this overall uptrend. So I'm basically making the bet. I'm looking for this overall trend to carry the trade and to hopefully give us that push off of the lows here to find demand and to continue this higher trend. That's the bet I'm making. We'll see if it works out. As always, you guys know, I'll pause the video. We'll come back and talk about what the results are next time. Okay, it's a few days later since I've last recorded on this Aussie yen move. We're looking at the 4 hour chart, and I just want to give you guys a quick little update. This trade has become a pretty slow moving, just back and forth little event here. You can see prices basically just chopping back and forth. We have not been able to, I was hoping to see this price break and continue higher. We did not get that. In fact, we just came back to my break even price and now have just been hovering just below. At this point, I'm not giving up on this trade. I still like Aussie yen in this area. You still got a pretty good area of demand here historically, but you can see price is trying, or it has been trying, to make its way lower. Almost got stopped out here. Fortunately, I have not just yet gotten stopped out. We'll see if it ends up rolling over. If it does, then we'll just take a loss, and that's not a big deal. We'll just find other things to trade. But I want to give this trade the best chance possible to try and rally. If we can get any sort of strong move on the Aussie or a lot of yen weakness, this thing could turn around fairly quickly. Again, multiple times here now, price here has found demand, found demand, found demand, found demand. So again, and it did find demand on our initial entry. It's just been consolidating. And sometimes markets do this. Markets just enter these periods of time where they just consolidate for quite a long time before they finally make a move in terms of direction. So I'm just going to play the patience game with this and just sit on Aussie yen for a little bit longer. Again, if it decides to roll over and stop me out, I'll just take the loss and find something else to trade. And that is just the nature of the game. So with that said, I'm going to pause, and next time I get some sort of something interesting happens, I'll give you guys another update. Aussie yen just keeps ranging here on the 4-hour chart. You can see we have made our way away from our stop loss, which is definitely a relief. You can see price came very close to tagging me out for this loss. And I thought, honestly, when I was watching this, I thought, okay, well, get ready to finish the video and just get it up on YouTube. But price seems to want to just keep teasing us here. So we will see what it wants to do. So what I have done at this point is I still actually have not really done anything. I haven't changed my stop loss. I haven't changed my opinion on the trade. I still like this area as a potential buy zone or opportunity to get long. If anything, there might have been opportunities to try and get in again once price dropped down like this. But for me, again, I'm still just happy with my entry. Ultimately looking to see if we can break past this level. This is the major area that I'm watching. So what I would love to see in terms of this trade would be a nice break above this area and to really confirm that we have broken it thoroughly by seeing some sort of break, retest, and continuation. Now, let me just give you an idea of what I would do in this case. If we do see that move, and again, I don't know that that's going to happen, and I don't plan to move my stop loss just yet. My plan here is that if price decides to break out, then in that situation, I'll probably move my stop to break even or maybe even lock in a little bit more. And then if we really clear this area, again, this is all if-then statements. If you want to talk about real trading, it's very easy when you're watching videos or when you're looking at the chart historically or back testing to say, obviously what happened over here. It's very easy to predict what happened already. It's hard to predict what's going to happen on the right side of the screen. And so what I'm doing here is I'm just saying if and then, basically if price is able to break out and move past this level here, if we're able to clear that zone, I would go ahead and from there look to ratchet my stop loss a little bit higher. And then, there's also the case, well, if things go terribly wrong and we just get something like this, where we just see the opposite, where we are not able to ever get past that level, then in that case, I have no interest in being in this trade. So again, this is the if-then statement process when it comes to trading. This is my background is in computer science, so I naturally, gravitate to terms that I know, which if-then is like the most logical, basic concept ever. You just come up with ifs and thens for whatever happens in your trading. So at this point, like I said, nothing else for me to do here for now until price decides to get bullish here or decides to just completely reject any sign of bullishness. I will be looking to see and adapt accordingly. So again, I'm going to trail stops should things rail higher, and then I'm going to stop out if price does not go my way. Those are the only two scenarios that I'm looking to do. With that said, going to pause the video here, let some time pass, and I'll come back once things have moved. Okay, so Aussie yen actually ended up breaking out of the channel that we've been watching. You can see this area did finally, after all that waiting, patience really paid in this case, or at least so far it is, because you can see we're actually able to close outside of that area. And just now, I just alerted to members that I have moved my stop loss up into profit here, locking in. Let's see actually. What is that? 24 pips or so, just under 25 pips on the trade, locked in on Aussie yen here. So not bad. Yes, it was a slow trade and still going on, so it might have more to go. But the idea here was it took some time, but we finally broke out of this consolidation zone. And from there, I have decided to move my stop loss into profit here on the trade. So all of a sudden we got this really nice pop. You can see right now on the profit cam, we got $990 floating on the trade. We'll see if it can go for more. And again, one of the key components or the nature of my trading style is I'd like to let this thing really keep running if it wants to, because I do still have, like I said, a fundamental bias to the upside. So with that, coupled with my technical analysis, I'm looking to try and see if we can get a big runner on Aussie yen. Now, some natural places for price to go, we've talked about this already, is of course, can we make it back to the previous high? That would create some really great risk to reward for my trade. But let me tell you guys just a little bit about this stop loss placement. I did put it here for a reason. You can see that this level that we talked about and struggled so hard to get past, once we broke through that level, I was like, okay, I basically don't want to see price come crashing underneath that, because that would just kind of take away all of the strength of this breakout, right? I really would like to see price either do one of two things. Number one, just fail back and stop me out. I'll take a profit there, no problem. Or the better scenario, what I'd love to happen, would be something like this. Maybe we get a pullback, but overall we stay bullish enough to stay above this recently broken out of range. That's my ideal situation. Will that happen? I don't know. Again, this is live trading, so whatever happens, you guys will see with me. Again, I thought this trade was going to be a loser, but really I just stuck to the initial analysis. I didn't touch my stop loss, and I let the trade play out. So from here, still just a matter of waiting to see how this trade decides to go. And like I said, my next point of trailing stops will probably be somewhere. Once we clear this level a bit, I'll probably have to reevaluate. I haven't really thought about it too much. I don't want to wait all the way up until this point, just because that might be a while before that happens. Price could consolidate again for another long period of time. So I probably will look to see what price does tomorrow. And if price is making its way further, I might find a place to trail stops a bit more and lock in some more on the trade. But for now, nothing to do but wait. So with that said, I'll pause the video, come back for more once we've seen price move again. Quick little note here on Aussie yen. You can see this is the next morning. Price is pulling back like we were seeing. And again, just to reiterate my thoughts here with the stop loss, I would like to see price either do one of two things. If it rallies to the upside, then great. We will continue to trail stops. And on the flip side, if things just trail down, I'm still planning on stopping out. But again, right now, it does look like a normal retest of this structure that we broke out of. So I would not be surprised if we do tag this area and try and find demand here. Pretty natural place for buyers to try again or push higher. But if it fails, then of course, like I said, I will stop out and take a profit there if the yen gets really strong or if the Aussie gets weak for some reason. But with that said, I'm gonna pause and come back once things either stop me out or keep moving higher. All right, guys, I'm all out of AUDJPY. Pretty happy with this trade, even though, it didn't end up being a giant profit. But just coming from where I was at, I bought this trade, or I bought the Aussie yen back around here. Price did kind of go in my favor. Then it came back, and it honestly looked like I was going to get stopped out. So to even have a profit on this trade at all is a good spot to be in, and I can't really complain. So price ended up coming back down, did not hold the level I was looking for, and ended up stopping me out there for around $400 on the trade. I will take it, and I will move on to look for some more setups. So I hope you guys enjoyed this live trading video. Please remember that if you have any interest in joining our private Discord, that is where I share all of my trades in real time. So obviously I do these videos and I share the results, whether they're good or bad, but I also share all of my trades, good and bad, like I said, inside of the private Discord. So if you have any interest in joining us inside of the group, you can find out information down below in the description. There is a link there for you and a promo code to get you a discount for watching and supporting the content. So thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you back in the next live trading video. Have a great rest of your day.